Hello and welcome. This is a lesson on air pollution. Get ready to learn. Did you know our atmosphere is a mixture of gases and small particles that are in a delicate balance? Change the amount of gases or particles could cause serious harm. It's called air pollution when it's causing us harm. Why is it important to know about air pollution? How'd you like to live here? Some pollutants in the air happen naturally, like volcanic ash in the air and forest fire smoke. Can't avoid it. But we impact our environment every day. You can't live on the planet without affecting the planet. But we can reduce the amount of pollution. What is important to know about air pollution? Gases in our atmosphere that allow us to breathe. We need to know that there are things called pollutants that may hurt us. And there are four major types of air pollution. Photochemical smog. Material that comes out of smokestacks sometimes reacts with sunlight, and the chemicals make air that's not good to breathe. Photochemical smog. Acid rain. Sometimes these pollutants combine with water vapor and produce a very slightly acidic rain. Increased greenhouse gases. If that balance is altered, it's going to make changes somewhere else. What usually will happen is temperatures will rise on the planet. And ozone reduction. If the ozone layer is reduced, the amount of harmful ultraviolet radiation that comes from the sun, which is not bad, it's just the balance is going to be different. What's important to know? The releasing of chemicals or small particles in the air can cause harm or discomfort to humans or other animals. Asthma, chronic breathing issues. And it doesn't have to kill you to be bad. It just can make your life miserable. It can just simply make you sick. People with breathing issues like asthma are especially affected. Makes sense. They're having difficulty breathing to start with, and you have things in the air that make it more difficult. It's just going to add. Now, the ozone layer. Oxygen usually hangs out as a molecule of two oxygen atoms. Normally, the sun will add another to make it O3, but over time it breaks down to O2. It loses this extra oxygen atom. So oxygen is O2, ozone is O3. But the energy to break it from O3 to O2 again saves us from getting that radiation. So this is a cycle here, and if the balance is off because this oxygen's being pulled off by another chemical such as chlorine, well, the amount of time it takes for this cycle to happen changes. And the amount of ultraviolet that comes through the atmosphere is going to change also. That's ozone pollution, or changing the ozone levels. In the upper atmosphere, ozone absorbs high energy ultraviolet or UV radiation coming from the sun. So that's ozone issues. Acid rain. Sulfur and nitrogen combining with water vapor in the air. Here's what happens. Coming out of a car exhaust or a factory, sulfur dioxide and nitrogen dioxide go up into the atmosphere, where they combine with water or water vapor and produce an acid rain. Now, it doesn't even happen locally. It could happen far away. Remember, we only have one planet, so everything that happens here. And the rain falls, and it affects plants and animals and changes into a very mild hydrochloric acid and or phosphoric acid. It changes the atmosphere. It changes the rain. It changes what the rain is absorbed by. Plants, animals, even rocks. Forms a weak acid. And that's acid rain. Can kill wildlife and harm health. It changes the pH, or the acid levels in the water. Some animals are very tolerant to some plants, and some are not. Now, sources of the acid rain are automobiles, factories, and power plants. And it doesn't have to be close. It could be a distance from the source, a different state or a different country. Remember, we're all on the same planet. Greenhouse effect. The greenhouse effect is not a bad thing. It keeps our surface warm, keeps it relatively stable in temperature. The sunlight comes in, some is bounced up back into the air, may be absorbed by gases in the atmosphere, and keep our atmosphere stable. But it's a delicate balance. Happens naturally. And it allows Earth to have temperatures that are balanced. But increased greenhouse gases, carbon dioxide and methane, are two big ones. They change the temperatures in global warming. The Earth gets warmer. And photochemical smog. Warmer weather, when the upper air doesn't allow pollution to spread out and mix with clean air. In other words, the pollutants act with the sunlight to form a layer that doesn't allow the pollutants to spread out. They don't mix, they don't dissipate, they don't mix in with clean air. Sunlight reacts with chemicals in the air, and it just forms smog. Now, temperature inversions make that even worse. The cool air is dense, so it stays near the ground. In other words, cool air will lay on the ground, and a warm air traps it down there. So the pollution doesn't have a chance to dissipate or mix or spread out. These temperature inversions are very difficult things. They'll close schools because of air pollution, temperature inversions. Now, we have outside air pollution. There's also indoor pollution. It's relatively new in the last 100 years. Different construction techniques for building houses make them a lot tighter. There's a lot less drafts, a lot less air coming in or going out, especially with air conditioning, not having the windows open. Homes are better insulated. There's a lot less areas where there's leaks. Air exchange is minimal. If you don't have the windows open, you're not going to get fresh air in. There are some mechanical things you can do, but not all houses have them. Odors are included. Think about cooking or a wood stove that you have inside the house. Some of the pollution sources for indoor pollution is cooking and heating, wood stove or cooking dinner. Pets. Pets shed. They shed hair, they shed skin. Radon. This is a gas that comes through usually the basement, comes through rocks, cracks in the rocks. Can't smell it, can't taste it, but it's there. And cigarettes. Of course, cigars and pipes, but cigarettes, source of indoor pollution. Why is it important to know about air pollution? Some pollutants happen in the air happen naturally, like volcanic ash in the air and forest fire smoke. These we can't help. But there are some things we can help. We impact our environment every day. And because of that, we can reduce the amount of pollution we have. There's your lesson on air pollution.